Chapter 15. The 7 messengers are ready to release the 7 plagues upon the earth. The last plagues. And I, John, son of Zebedee and Salome, saw another symbol as a token to overstanding and gaining knowledge of the intricacies of the revelation. In the Orion skies, great and wonderful, 7 arch-messengers, having 7 last plagues preparing for their assignments to inflict the earth with the punishment of Thehos in the form of plagues with them, because by them will the punishments of Thehos be completed. The world cannot end until they experience the wrath of El-Elo, Thehos. The occurrence of the last 7 plagues will bring the final end. And I, John, son of Zebedee and Salome, saw what looked like a sea of glass, which was the crystal city called the abode of peace, holy city, and New Jerusalem. This new city will descend and establish itself here on earth, then gather the chosen 144,000 and prepare for them that final day when they shall ascend Mount Zion to reign in peace with the Lamb. This is a spiritual city which will come out of the heavens. It is located above the planet Earth inside of the mothership. It is shaped like that of a beehive, which is a glass enclosure that is clear and transparent, because of its precious stones' reflection of amber lights. The transparent enclosure reflected the jasper and golden lights from the stones which make up its foundation. That's why the crystal city is called the Golden or Emerald City. This gives it the sea of glass effect. This great city is composed of precious stones, as clear and transparent as glass blended with fire because of its yellowish, amber aura. And them that had gotten the victory, these are the 144,000 elite few, those that remained faithful and true to Thehos over the serpent, the United States of America, and will have overcome his picture of the beast, which is the pale Jebusite's image of Jesus, and over his mark. They will not be seduced by money and wealth, and over the number of his name 666, a computer number, so don't go looking for the number 666 to be printed on your forehead. The conniving evil one is more sophisticated and clever than that. Then John, son of Zebedee and Salome, saw the 144,000 standing in the sea of glass, called the crystal city, having the harps of Thehos. And they, the 144,000 pure souls, are singing the song of Moses, to be drawn forth, son of Imram and Jochebed, whose real name is Tobadon-Ijah, meaning my Lord is good, the servant of Thehos, and the song of the Lamb, saying, great and wonderful are your works of Els Quran. The 2 readings, Master Thehos, the Almighty, O Thehos, the controller of all, just and real is your path, O ruler of all holy ones, who will not fear you, O Master, and glorify your name 5 or more times a day, every day, for you only are Al-Rafu, the kind, the 82nd attribute of Allah, El-Elo, the Most High Sustainer, and all Gentile nations will come and prostrate before you, for your wisdom has appeared. And after this I, John, son of Zebedee and Salome, saw, and when I did, the temple of the tabernacle was already opened. It has a dome of the witness in the Orion skies. The city had a dome like masjid. The shape of the crystal city is like that of a beehive. And the 7 messengers came out of the temple, having with them the 7 plagues, and upon them outer garments of pure white linen, and they had sashes on their chests, sashes of gold. And old Babylon, one of the 4 living creatures, gave the 7 messengers 7 golden vials, bowls full of punishments of Thehos, to pour the wraths or plagues onto the planet Earth, the ever-living, even until eternity and forevermore. And the tabernacle was full of incense smoke from the splendor of Thehos, the sweet fragrant smell of incense. The Levites or Levitical priest used to burn incense day and shadow hour upon a special altar that stood in the holy place of the sanctuary, in front of the curtain that separated this apartment from the most holy place. At the annual Day of Atonement, the high priest entered the most holy place and burned incense in a center, the smoke which enveloped the Ark of the Covenant, Aaron Bereth Yahuwah, Leviticus 16:12-13. Incense will scent the new temple also, the temple of the Most High, the crystal city. And from his power, and no one was able to enter the tabernacle, no one will be able to enter the crystal city until after the earth has experienced the fullness and completeness of Thehos's wraths. The plagues of the 7 arch-messengers Anunnaki Elohim is completed. First, the 144,000, then afterwards the judgment of all others on the planet Earth, which will occur after the 7 Anunnaki Elohim with the 7 vials full of the wrath, which are plagues of Thehos, have finished afflicting the planet Earth with the punishments of El-Elo, Eli, the Most High. Chapter 16. The messengers are now given the command to pour out upon the planet Earth the last 7 plagues of Thehos. The supreme voice. And I, John, son of Zebedee and Salome, heard a supreme voice from the tabernacle saying, for the 7 messengers sent to depart, being ordered to leave the Orion skies and carry out their assignments in order to pour out the 7 vials of punishment of Eli, Theos, Allah, Anu, El-Elo upon the planet Earth. The whole world would suffer Eli's wrath in the form of plagues, pestilences, famines and diseases, except for those who are faithful to El-Elo, Eli. These 7 Anunnaki Elohim will bring the last 7 miseries destined to plague the earth. And the first Anunnaki Elohim went out and poured out his vial upon the planet Earth, so it struck a strong grievous sore of an awful disease, starting with the AIDS virus that has no known cure, upon the nation of people who had in them the beast's mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and on those who worshipped his picture and became Christians, worshipping the image of the pale Jebusite Jesus. Nubians have been seduced into worshipping the image of the beast, by worshipping the picture of the pale Jesus. The Jebusite has replaced the real image of the Messiah Jesus with an image of himself. This is the picture of Jesus that you see hanging on walls throughout the world. They want you to believe in this fake Jesus. Some of them even mix their seed with them. One of the Amorites' main objectives is to get you to corrupt your seed. Don't forget that the Amorite is not a part of the original creation. He knows that the more he integrates and crossbreeds with your seed, the harder it will be for you to differentiate just who you really are. In doing so, he will have successfully eliminated your pure seed. You were warned against mixing your seed by your father Abraham. Abraham forbade the mixing of his seed with the house of Labanah, Canaan. Abraham made Eliezer, his servant, swear to him that he would not take a female offspring of Canaan to lie with, for a wife for his son, because they were a cursed tribe of people. Genesis 24:4-37. Each generation of Abraham's descendants were warned to obey the law of not mixing with the families of the Canaanites. Like father, like son, Isaac told his son Jacob the same thing. Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Genesis 28:1. Esau was disobedient and mixed with the Canaanites. Esau knew that mixing his seed would displease his father. Genesis 26:35. As a result of him mixing his seed came the Edomite people, the Mongolian race. In trying to right his wrong, he then sought an Ishmaelite wife by the name of Basemath from his uncle's tribe. Genesis 28:8-9. Today this commandment from the Most High still applies. You must not mix with the cursed seed. You must separate yourselves mentally and physically from the devil's children, be they Amorite or Nubian devils. That's right, there are black devils in your midst. Remember, Halel and the 200 fallen Elohim were also banished from Ilion to earth along with Kadmon, Adam, Zakar. They were the first inhabitants of the land of Nod. They appeared on earth as Nephilims or giants, Genesis, and mixed their physical seed with the daughters of Cain. Therefore the first devils to inhabit the earth manifested as black devils. The curse of leprosy did not come until after Canaan was cursed, Genesis 9:25, and the Hindus did not mix with the Ashtar command, blonde hair, blue-eyed beings from Pleiades, giving birth to the Flugelrods until after they were cast to earth. You can either be a black devil or be possessed by a black devil. One is when one of the wicked demons get into your heart, chest, and you do his works, Genesis 4:7. The other is to be born of the evil one's seed and have black skin. It is nothing new to speak of how the devil enters man as he entered Ham. Judas, son of Iscariot, was a Nubian who betrayed Jesus, son of Gabriel and Mary, for 30 pieces of silver, John 13:27. Peter, son of John, one of Jesus' disciples, was also a Nubian, tempted Jesus to do the wrong thing, and Jesus called him Satan, Matthew 16:22-23. Mary Magdalene was possessed with 7 devils, Mark 16:9, Luke 8:2. So the devil can reside in a Nubian man, making him a human devil. You must stop the white devil thing. Blacks are devils too. The devil doesn't care who he gets into. Whoever will do his work is his children, called jinn by the Muslims, demons, or devils. There is nothing good to be inherited from mixing your seed with the Amorite. It is the Amorite himself who would benefit. He needs the Nubian man to keep his degenerative seed alive. The War of the Roses, which occurred in Europe in 1455 AD to 1485 AD between two families, the Yorks and the Lancasters. Although it stemmed from a dispute of succession to the English throne, a major issue was marriages between the families involved. Marriages were arranged but never took place because the York family tried to evade the hemophiliacs, bleeders, of the Lancaster family. And the second messenger poured out his vial upon the sea so that it became blood. It was like the blood of the dead is coagulated, and every living spirit died which was in the sea, unlike in the time of Noah when the living things of the waters were spared. This time none will be spared. And the third Elohim poured out his vial or bowl upon the rivers, and upon the springs of the water, so it became blood, infecting all of the waters of the earth. Most of the world's water supply is in a bad state in the first place, and most of the water is salt water which is unfit for drinking. So, water is stored in aqueducts and reservoirs carried from mountains, lakes. Most of the water is polluted by industrial waste dumping of chemicals that aren't biodegradable, meaning the compounds are man-made and can't be broken down in the soil and water like organic compounds. This is on the large scale, not to mention the little things like discarding infected needles in lakes or just general paraphernalia. Man is responsible for most of the damage done through his carelessness. Just take account of all the oil spills suffocating the life in the oceans and seas. Many of the beaches will close due to unsanitary conditions. Attempts have been made to try and clean up the mess by chlorine solution, yet the effects on marine life are not known, but it will take years to clean up the mess entirely. Still, attempts to solve this problem are still in effect today. The latest suggestions are dumping 10,000 gallons of oil in the waters and set it on fire to see if it will burn, which was met with great opposition because of the side effect of if all the oil doesn't burn in the water, we will still have the same problem of trying to clean it up. Not to mention the effects already affecting the food chains of life from plankton on up and eventually affecting humans. And I heard the messenger of the waters saying, "You are just, O Master, who existed in ancient times as Tammuz, and exists now, the Holy One who judges this way." Because they, the persecutor of righteousness, evil reptilians, poured out blood of the holy ones, those willing to give up their lives for the truth and raise the 144,000. We are the only ones here in America that are the guiding light to the world, as it says in Matthew 24:27. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. And our duty is to put out the light of the beast and usher in the light of the Messiah. The newsbearers or prophet were also persecuted for righteousness' sake, sent by the Most High to give guidance and overstanding, and you gave them blood to drink because they were worthy. And I Yaa-Nun heard another one from the altar saying, "Yes, O you who are the Master, the Elohim, the Almighty, the controller of all, surely, your wisdom is real and just." And the fourth Anunnaki Elohim poured out his vial upon the sun, which caused the sun to overheat in an abnormal pattern. And it was given the right to persecute the nation of people with scorching and fire. With the depleting ozone layer, the intensity of the sun's rays will become like scorching fire. The Amorite knows this, and that is why right now his focus is on underground malls. Instead of going out into the sun, you can have whatever you need by having it delivered to your home, ordered either over the phone, or via the internet. The net allows you to do everything from your home. If you want a movie, you can get it over the net. If you want to shop for clothes, you can do it over the net. Eli, El Elo, Anu, Allah, Theos, Yahweh will allow his Elohim to make the sun unbearable, causing intense pain and discomfort, but the people will only curse the Most High, not recognizing it as a punishment and a warning. And the nation of people, Caucasus and those Nubians who want to be like him, were burning from the strong heat. The Caucasus lack melanin in the top layers of their skin, which is the reason it appears transparent, and that is the top layer that turns red, burns and then peels off. Those Nubians who follow behind them and worship their image of the beast by disfiguring themselves to look like them, will also burn because they are losing their melanin with their skin bleaching and lightening creams. Some are even mixing their seed, something that has been forbidden since the time of Abraham, Genesis 24:3, which causes recessive or weaker genes to surface. Many of them are getting cancer, and if those Nubians continue to mix their genes, they will burn also, get cancer also, and get left behind also, just like them, because they chose to follow the image of the beast instead of being proud of their own and come to the temple of the Most High to be measured by the rod. Instead they stay outside the temple, and so they will not be counted and just blaspheme the name of Eli, who has the authority over all these plagues. Even though they brought this on themselves, they did not repent in order to glorify him. And the fifth Elohim Anunnaki poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, which currently is the United States of America, and the 7 major heads are under the United Nations who carry out the work of the evil reptilians. His kingdom became so dark, America will eventually fall on a certain day at a certain hour before the Messiah comes, and they, the Amorites and those allied with them, Nubians, Edomites, Native Americans, etc., were gritting their teeth from grief, crying because of their end condition. And they blasphemed the El Elo, Eli, Anunnaki of the Orion skies for their grievance and their plagues, and yet they did not repent from their evil doings. They encourage young children to grow fast by wearing makeup, stimulating the minds of perverts who go around molesting children. It is nothing more than pornography, not to mention the evils that occur as normal everyday happenings. There is not a day that goes by that someone isn't mugged, robbed, raped, hurt, killed, a plane doesn't crash, or something blows up. These are all a part of fulfilling the prophecy in Genesis 15:13, where it speaks about the iniquities of the Amorites not being filled yet. However, they almost are, and are steadily increasing every day. And the sixth messenger poured out his vial upon the great river Furat, Euphrates, so the water of it dried, to prepare the path for the rulers of the eastern sun. These red Arabs who have the nerve to call themselves royal and still use the title of king today, which rightly goes to the Messiah, who is called King of Kings and Lord of Lords. There is no such thing as a mortal king. Men are ruler, sultans, etc., but not kings. The rulers in Arabia now are only interested in financial gain. They are exceedingly wealthy and charge pilgrims to make Hajj, something ordained by Allah for all Muslims to do at least once in their lives. And I saw from the mouth of the reptilian Azazel, Iblis, Shakar, and from the mouth of the beast America, and from the mouth of the liar newsbearer, the pale Jebusite and the state of Israel, 3 dirty souls or unholy spirits, like frogs, who are reptilians. Because they are the souls of Zu and the physical evil reptilian Tarnush, Shakar or Satan, meaning the devil has a physical seed, has a life force of a spirit and not a soul as Nubian people have, just as mammals are warm-blooded and reptiles or reptilians are cold-blooded. They were making signs, producing all kinds of wonders, deceiving and tricking the whole world by way of its signs through its authority given by the beast. These signs are reaching to the rulers, Arabs, of the planet Earth, in order to get them together to the war, as in the Gulf War in 1990 AD, not to mention those from the past beginning in 1948 AD, when the Israeli state declared war on the Arab nation. Due to the influences of the 3 dirty souls, Israel invades the Suez Canal 1956 AD, Israel captures the Sinai of Jordan, Egypt under Arab influence launched an attack on Israel in 1973 AD, but are unsuccessful, full-scale Israeli invasion on Lebanon and bombardments 1982 AD, Israeli helicopter invaded and captured chief military commander and locked up his wife and children in 1989 AD. These wars from the east will be the spark that starts the Third World War before that great and dreadful day, the day of Elohim who is the controller of them all. Here I, Melchizedek, am. He who is sent, not Messiah Yeshua, who said he would send his angel to signify to the congregation. I, Melchizedek, come just like a thief, and the world will not even know he is here because they will mistake him for HaMashiach because they have the wrong concept. Blessings are for all those who stay awake, or keep to the rights of Abraham and don't stray off the path, which is the devil, evil reptilian's main purpose, to seduce you as he did your foreparents before you, and he comes in many forms, and guard his robes, the garb of purity and righteousness, and be not seduced out of your garb like the people of today, lest he walk around naked, and they see your nakedness, removal of the garb of righteousness and the face veil, and take on the dress worn by the harlot. And he gathered them together into a single place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon, mount of the place of crowds. And the 7th Elohim, Anunnaki messenger, poured out his vial upon the air, and there came out a supreme voice from the tabernacle, from the seat, saying, It is done, meaning the final conflict will bring about the mystery of the Most High Eli, his will be completed, and the rendering of the last plague will bring, Allah, Yahweh, El Eloh's, final wrath, and the war of Armageddon. And there was lightning and thunder, and voices, and there was a great earthquake worse than the ones from before, that has not been the likes of it since the existence of a nation of people upon the planet Earth. A strong earthquake like this never happened before. The earthquakes that are happening now have devastating effects, sometimes destroying whole cities and claiming many lives. Many people are buried in landslides alive, while others are heard crying under levels of concrete from collapsed buildings. And the great city became 3 parts, or the 3 world powers being the USA, Russia, and Asia, Edom, and all the cities of the nation fell. They will become obsolete and crumble and will suffer also. And Babylon the Great, that thought to be invincible city, was remembered in front of Eli because of its iniquities, in order to give to her, USA, the cup of the intoxicant which is from the punishment of his wrath, for all those who partook of the delicacies of the harlot and lived deliciously, and all of mankind will be destroyed. And every island, all other religions represented by the Aegean Islands escaped, and the mountains couldn't be found, which are the 7 heads represented by 7 mountains, which will all be destroyed. And big hail fell down upon the nation of people, which were actually bullets being fired during a severe war, like the weight of 50 to 100 pounds from the Orion skies, and the nation of people blasphemed Elohim, Anunnaki, because of the plague of hail, because the plague of hail is very severe, and out of this severity the world will still not repent.